Okay, this is my quickish video for because I wrote out my first chart that I read that someone sent me for whole Sky Astrology, and I thought it was so many words that I wrote, because I tried to be as complete as possible. So I'm also going to speak it in case the person would rather hear it. Also, I think a lot of time people would rather see a video and hear it than read it. Okay, so my printer's not working, so also read, because I might forget some things. But I did study the chart quite a while, and I'll impart what I interpreted from it. So this chart, first of all, I really look at the houses in a chart, and there's 12 houses in every person's chart. Each house represents a different part of the person's life. The first house is ego, identity, I am. The second house is possessions, how you deal with possessions, and third house is how you communicate in your immediate environment, your siblings, your neighborhood, also technology. The fourth house is your childhood. Fifth house is present day family, friends, fun, pleasure, hobbies. Sixth house is work, and traditionally it's also health. Seventh house is relationships, romance, marriage. Eighth house is transformations, death, birth, sex, possessions. Ninth house is exploration, the higher mind, travel, spirituality, religion, visions, prophecy. 10th house is your career, your social standing, and your ambitions in this realm, on this earth. 11th house is like the brotherhood of man, sisterhood of women, house, and community and groups, large groups of people. 12th house is the cosmic house. It's connection, cosmic connection, spirituality, the other world, also birth and death. Okay, so I just was explaining that because the houses are a really big part of how I interpret a chart. And if you have planets in certain houses, that's an emphasis in those parts of your life, in those. So this person's first house is really interesting. First of all, they have Scorpio rising. That means their mask, how they present to the world. The Scorpio is an intense, very intense sign. It's full of emotion that simmers under the surface. It's like a churning, burning, like ocean of emotion underneath a calm, cool, sexy, or brooding demeanor, self-contained, self-possessed. And they're also very intelligent, very observant, very possessive, and self-possessed. Okay, that's the mask that this person has onto the world. This is what people see, is this very composed person of substance and mystery. But in this person's first house is the moon and Uranus. Now, this is very interesting because the moon in the first house is emotion. The moon is emotion. It's so much emotion. It's instinct. It's intuition. It's very much womanly, feminine. It's the feminine principles. I should say feminine, not womanly necessarily, but it's the feminine principles. And then the Uranus is like the planet of genius, flash insight, technology, rebellion, vision, and like counterculture stuff. It's vision. It's something new, innovation. That's what Uranus rules. Okay, so to have these two planets in the first house, and then you've got the Scorpio rising. The first house rules identity, ego, I am. This person has a rich inner life, and it's very melded between the yin and the yang. The feminine principles, the masculine principles. They have a lot of self-possession, natural self-confidence. They're a natural leader. They rely on themselves, they look to themselves for their own counsel. They look within. But they're very emotional, and yet they also have the objectivity from Uranus. So it's a very interesting, cool first house, in my opinion. But read more if you want more about that. I need to make sure this is still going. Yeah, it is. Okay. Now the second house has, there's something in the second house, and that is Neptune. Neptune is a very subconscious, spiritual, dreaming, otherworldly, sensitive planet. So this person, how they approach material possessions it's on an emotional level. And for them, there's some type of a spiritual component to possessions, and for them, there's some type of a deeper, mystical almost aspect to acquiring things and to the things they have. They're gonna not be too practical per se about what they want. If they want it, it's for this reason inside that is in some way feeds their spirit, I would say. And it's opposite, this house is opposite the 8th house, which is the house of birth, death, transformations, sex, possessions. A very heavy house. And so the Neptune is opposite what they have Jupiter in their 8th house. So this person is not afraid of birth, death, sex, transformations, possessions, acquiring possessions. They are very expansive. They are very much, with Jupiter in that house, is like, bring it on. They don't shy from these things of depth, substance, death, and life, and birth, and transformation. To them, it is a part of life, and they have an open heart towards that, or open mind towards that. And the being fueled by Neptune in the 2nd house is really interesting. It's opposite of Jupiter in their chart. So that's a really cool opposition there, or opposing energies there, because they kind of feed off of each other. They're pretty complementary planets. There might be a touch of over visionary, or over a lot of just kind of like the spiritual realm and faith and belief, but that in those realms, but they feed each other. It's a very kind of otherworldly, faithful, visionary perspective, and it definitely denotes spiritual ability, psychic ability, otherworldly abilities, whether, I don't know what, because everybody's different in that way, whether it's dreams, ability, intuition that is psychic, clairvoyance, clairaudience, I don't know, but it's definitely a strong psychic indicator, as is the moon in the first house. This whole chart has a lot of, I saw so much, either the person already has a lot of psychic ability or they could very easily develop it. They have planets in all of the psychic, karmic houses being, I shouldn't say karmic per se, but psychic houses, like, which is the 4th, 8th, and 12th houses. They have planets in all 3 of those houses. So, okay, you don't have to have, I'm just saying that that is a very good indicator for someone that will have ease with these things and less fear and more curiosity and more natural instinct with these things, but everybody has psychic ability. Okay, so we just went there. Okay, 3rd house, this person has Mercury in their 3rd house. They will have a lightness in their immediate surroundings. Okay, I already explained how this person is kind of a heavy person in the 1st house. That's their identity. Their identity is like solid, and they will appear probably a certain way in the outer world, in a public way, and that's kind of fundamental to who they are. But the 3rd house, in their inner circle, in their inner way of communicating with people in their surroundings, like home, neighborhood, siblings, they will have a lightness there. Also a lot of intelligence. Mercury in the 3rd is very, very intelligent. Quick mind, quick mouth, quick with their opinions and their, you know how they feel. 3rd house is communicator. Also going to be pretty good with technology. I'm curious about it. 4th house, this person has, okay, now their 3rd house, this person is opposite the 9th house. And they got Mars in the 9th. Mars is aggression, action, war, aggression. This person, what they talk about, and the 9th planet is the planet of the higher mind, vision, prophecy, higher education. This person, what they say, they're going to usually put it into action. They've got this nice energy line going. Mercury, the mind, the mouth, straight through to Jupiter, which is expansiveness. Excuse me, not Jupiter, to Mars, which is action. Action. They're going to put their mouth, what they say, into action. In the higher realms, they like to study. They're aggressive they like to learn, I should say, and they love to travel, this person. Okay. 4th house has the sun. The father was very important to this child. So was the mother, I believe, because there's Venus in the 4th. Both of those can be mother-father symbols. And for this person, childhood, their own childhood, and just childhood in general for them, they love children. And there's a soft spot, there's a big soft spot they have for childhood in general. Just a minute.